Hey, everybody. That was the new intro. What do you think? Let me take this banner down here. Hang on. There we are. You probably saw, I don't know what my hair is doing right now. You probably saw I put this up, this Hot 22 code. It's going to be, you've got early live viewer access. It's going to be in the newsletter tomorrow. But I thought, you know what? I better tell you guys about it today. So that's what's going on. Hot 22, because it's so flippin' hot everywhere that I did the coupon code Hot 22. Save 22% store wide through Sunday night. All right, I'm going to take this down for the moment and then we'll put that back up a little bit later. Thanks. You like the new intro? That's what was supposed to be up on Wednesday, but I uploaded Wednesdays too. So it just needed a little refresh. I've been running around like crazy because my foot's better through the magic of modern medicine. So I'm good. I hope you're good. But I'm playing catch up. So today we're catching up on this project. So on Wednesday, you saw that I put these guys, this one up, finished this really great loomed bracelet. I loved it. You guys loved it too. And I am getting, there's the coupon code right there for you, just for fun. I'll do that. We're going to be restocking some of the 3mm that we ran out of because you love them. The hands down favorite was this yellow, mustardy yellow color. So we'll be getting some more. Oh, Janice is doing it. Okay. Thanks, JP. Awesome. Before you push send, though, Janice, talk to me because there's one other thing that I think I need. But anyways, we'll talk about that after the show. Thanks, Margaret. That's super nice. Let me tell you how my morning's going, and then we'll get to this. I don't know. Maybe I'm using this now as kind of my new therapy. Tell me, and I'll send you your $5. Chris went to Costco this morning, to do a little Costco shopping, right, for the weekend. And Costco has this really cute dress right now, this cute kind of linen dress. So I had seen it, and I bought it in another color. And I told him, hey, pick up that dress for me, would you? And he did. And he got back just before the live broadcast started. I thought, you know what? I'm still in my walking clothes. But just before the live started, he showed up, handed me this dress. I put it on, put this necklace on, instant glamour. So if you love it, it's super cute. The Costco has it right now. Linen, perfect for summer. So anyway, JP, it's just another bead. You can go ahead and push send. It's okay. We can deal with that later. So anyway, that's my Friday morning for you. Let's take a look at this project, shall we? Let's do that. I'm going to take this banner down real quick. I'll put it up again before we go, but I put together some of the things from like the last couple of weeks. We've been working on the looming. I'm still not done with the looming. I'm finding it really relaxing, really fun. And so this is the one that we finished, right? And then we finished that closure. If you folks noticed, and I put it on the project page for this one's called Stillwater. I put it on the project page. I made some YouTube shorts. I took some clips from the the original live broadcast. And I made a couple of YouTube shorts that show a couple of the things. I think it's gluing, and I think talking about the button and maybe starting this. I linked them on the project page on Stillwater. You can find them on the shorts section on our YouTube channel. And I don't know if you folks knew this, but we do have a TikTok. I don't do the TikTok a lot because I just did not have time for one more thing. But our streaming platform makes it pretty easy to post from there. So when I was posting the shorts onto YouTube, I also added them onto our TikTok. So you can find us over on TikTok at beadshop.com, all spelled out. If you want to give us a follow, I'm going to add it to our socials and stuff. I can't promise that I'm going to schedule a lot, though Miranda wants to do some wacky TikToks. So you never know what's going to happen. But we do have one. It has 3 things on it now. So it's funny. JP also said we've just stocked a whole bunch of new stuff. Microchain, seed beads. You can find everything in our back in section. That is back in. So it's a great time to use that Hot 22 code. Okay. So, okay, that's all of the order of business. I'll put this one aside for the moment. This is the one that I was continuing to do on the leather. So I'm going to kind of push this one aside a little bit. I'm going to be really careful as I move it down. It slides just fine. I'm going to slide this one because we're going to work on this today, I think, is the one we're going to do. And I promised to talk about how we did this, how we would add a button closure to it. So I grabbed this little vine button here. And we're just going to see what happens. Because honestly, I haven't had that much time to prep, but I know that you folks are okay with a lot of my off the cuff. So we're going to continue an off the cuff kind of a thing. What I did here with this one, let's focus on how this one is different than the one that I did on Wednesday. Let me get a little tighter in here so you can see this. There we go. Oh, and Cindy, yes, the monthly mix for August, it drops tomorrow. That means it will also be on sale. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek about it because next week's project that I'm doing is going to be a wrap with this. I'm pretty excited about it. And Miranda, since August is Miranda's birthday month, she gets to do the monthly mix, and it's a good one. I think you're going to like it. So the difference between this one and this one that I did here on Wednesday, okay, was remember on Wednesday we used the 0.5 millimeter leather on the warp on the edges. And then we used the Ceylon. It was either fine or regular. It was this one. I'm going to say it's regular, but it could be fine. It makes no difference whatsoever. On this, and then I did the weaving, the weft, the left and right. I used KO thread for that. Here's the black KO, but I used apricot, I think, for that one. The difference with this one here, we used our Matubos, right? Our 2 millimeter Matubos, which I love. And I used a 6 millimeter avocado fire polish right here. And I will make a project page for this. It's just not project page ready yet. Okay. Then I used these Picasso 6/0. Then I used some 8/0. And I'm doing all the weaving in this with Ceylon. Okay. So this, I'm doing the warp here is with Ceylon, and I use the teal just because that was what was sitting there. You can use any Ceylon from your stash. You could also use fine. Doesn't have to be regular. Then for the weft, the threads are going from left to right. I'm also using Ceylon, and that's this one. This might be copper rose. This might be copper. I don't know, but it doesn't use whatever color you have, right? So we started, I think what I did was I started maybe here, I think, with this row of Matubos. And then I tapered up and then stopped there. So that's going to be our center motif, which I love. Then I went down to the 6/0 Picassos. I just did some textile, what we call textile weaving, a simple plain weave over and under. Then I put on 2-3 rows of the 8/0, and now I'm going to do some more textile weaving here. So what I'm going to do is, to make this a little bit easier for me, I'm going to use some Zap glue. Let's see if I can get the last of the Zap glue out of this. If not, oh yeah, I got a little bit left. I like to use this down to the very dregs of that glue. Okay. Leslie, I have no idea where weft and warp came from historically, but I'm sure it has some kind of historical significance for sure. This is, if you remember how I make Zap needles, glue needles on the ends of my thread to stiffen them. I put my Zap on my baggie like this, and I put my thread through it, close it up, kind of roll it, pinch it where that glue is, and just pull it through. Okay, like that. All right, so that's it. Those are going to sit there for a second. And this is all one long thread so far. Okay, like that. I think I'm going to eventually, I don't know. I can't say what I'm going to do. I don't know. I was thinking I might eventually switch to KO, but who knows, right? These are some leftovers from Danielle's mixes from the Copper and Cactus box, but we also carry most of these 8/0. So I'll get the color numbers and stuff and put it on the project when I finally make it. But this is a really great stash busting move. These are almost dry. There we go. All right. So I'm going to keep doing this plain weave, this textile, what we call that textile looming here. And we're going to, let me move that one out of the way. That goes under. I kind of have to get it in my brain. I don't know if you guys, I have to talk to myself as I do this, right? Over, under, over, under. And this is also this little textile weaving that I'm doing with the Ceylon. It's a good way to take up some space too. And I'm just using my fingernails there to kind of push everything up. But you can weave kind of fast like this, right? Like this. And then you can weave like a couple of rows, and then you can really neaten it up. I have another, where is that big cuff? Here it is. Let me show you this one. We're really having a moment with the loom. You saw this on Wednesday, this one. This is called, I think it's called Magic Carpet or something like that. It's just, I love it. I love it. I love weaving with this Ceylon. Ceylon, unfortunately, the company is discontinuing some of the colors. You may have seen that some of our colors are no longer available. We used to carry almost every single color that they carried, but for whatever reason, like a lot of things, the availability, just due to shortages, really, are not available for whatever reason. But we're going to keep carrying as much of this Ceylon as we can. So let me see if I can find I need my awl, my trusty awl. I can't weave without it. Let me see. I've been using it quite a bit. Here it is. Here's my trusty awl. Always have that by your side for sure. And just as a reminder, the way that we warped this little box, the deep dish design tray, we just wrapped our threads all the way around, right, in one continuous loop. So I wrapped it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 beads across. Okay, so all of this is 4 beads across, and it narrows and widens according to the bead, the width. Okay, so this looks like it's a good place to continue. Like this. Oh, and thanks. My mom did a little research right there. I mean, my mom was a scientist in her life, so she's all about research. So there it is. A little warp and weft info. I'm going to grab some of these 8/aughts, and we're just going to put, so there's 4 per, I'm also going to trim this because the top is not as stiff as I want it to be. There we go. It's faster and easier to do this, though you can also do this. I think I used a big eye needle for part of this the other day. I'm just going to pull out a few of these. We're going to do them randomly because we want to do this quickly, right? So, let's see. And Janice did a little note about what's happening with the Ceylon colors. We've been kind of auditioning some other threads too. We were doing that actually for a while. It's kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit, but we just don't have enough hours in the day. You know what I mean? Where are my big eye needles? I think I really do need those. Just bear with me here a second. Well, no, this is that a big eye? Yes, it's right here. I'm going to use that big eye. The stiffening actually works great for this weaving, but this big eye needle, the one that has the long big eye in the center, really works well to get this through. except my fingers don't want to pull it. So let's get our tweezer, our pliers, and get that going. I'm glad you're enjoying kind of this. It's kind of an impromptu master class on the loom work, but I don't know. I think I don't know if you're like me. In the summer, I like to have kind of an ongoing project, right? And if you're like me, you have many ongoing projects. But this one is fun because you can literally dip in and out of it. And I feel my hands are not grippy today, so hence the plier. But I feel it's kind of fun to just kind of, have something that you can work on and then come back to. I'll tell you that it also, I think, and we talked a little bit about this on Wednesday about the creative process, but I feel like you can kind of let it sit, let it simmer just a little bit, and then you can come back and just kind of jump in and have kind of a new view about it, right? So here we go. So here's a group of 3, another grouping of 3, and I think I'm going to do one more textile looming over here. Okay. I agree, Wendy. I like a variety of projects. I like some sewing projects. I like some kind of a yarn project. I like a bead project. There's no shame in my multitasking bead game or a craft game. You know what I mean? So we're just going to textile this up. So what we want to do, if we're adding a button, after I do this textile portion, we are going to do some measuring. Okay. Now, if you saw Wednesday's show, you saw how I did this little tassel-y bit on the end there, right? So we'll see if that comes into play at all with how I'm going to close this. But I also want to show you how we're going to do that buttonhole. So I wish I would have gotten a little further along on this project, but that's how it goes. Plus, I have to, we have to get some sleep sometimes. I'm not the best sleeper, but I'm doing a lot better than I was, to be honest. So, that's good. So let's do this. See how I'm going to kind of fix this unruly warp here by just kind of pushing all of that up using this awl. There we go. And we'll go under, over, under. Come on. There we go. So yeah, you can also kind of use the thread to push it up a little bit. And then I'll come back again, weaving it. Check it. And again, this is only 5 wraps around, but I think it looks pretty good. You know me, I like statement jewelry, so I make everything kind of big. Also, For the camera, it's easier for you folks to see it if everything is kind of big, right? But omitting this section here, that width, something like this is a nice smaller bracelet, right? It's kind of nice. Also here with the awl, see how this blips out a little bit? You can use your awl to kind of hold that and kind of help you make that selvage edge. This is called the selvage, the edges of your weaving. Usually you have one side, and this is true whether you're weaving cloth or, whatever. One of your weaving sides always looks better than the other. That's just how it is, right? And so you kind of have to account for that and just pay attention to how those edges, how that selvage looks. I really have a hankering to get my loom out, my rigid heddle. I have them hanging on the wall in my sewing room, so at least I can kind of look at them. But that's a good winter activity. What my dream is to have a craft room that's like, I don't know, huge, like living room size, right? And I want to have stations set up so that I can kind of move from station to station. So I'd have my spinning wheel set up in one corner. I'd have some jewelry making stuff. I could have soldering set up. I guess I actually need a warehouse, not like whatever. But that's how I have my metal studio kind of set up. It kind of has stations where, you've got your soldering station, your hammering station, stuff like that. So I think that would be really fun, So yeah, so that looks good. That looks kind of even. I'm not even counting them. I'm going to do, this looks like it's enough to do one more section of these beads like this. And then I'm going to end this off. And then I may just continue. I may switch threads. I don't know. We'll see. Let me see if I can get 3 more rows. Okay. Then we'll do some measuring, and then we'll finish the other side. So we'll get this. It still has that stiffening zap on it. This is the big eye that comes in the different lengths. But just to remind you, the big eye needle has a big eye like this in the center, right? Deb, come out and visit. I've got 3 spinning wheels. Craftsy, I think, has a good spinning class on it. There used to be quite a few fiber festivals. I know there's one back in New York called Rhinebeck that has spinning classes. There's there's a fiber festival out here called Lambtown. It's in Dixon, California. I know that they also have spinning classes. That one's the first weekend of October. Lambtown is so much fun. You can look it up. It's like a mini Rhinebeck. I love that. Oh, I love this. One of the joys of living alone is using your space as you like. My living room is my studio. Yes, I love it. I love that. That's totally what I would do, though. Chris would be like, what are we doing now? But, he's pretty game. He's game for anything, really. But he might draw the line if I turn my living room into a studio. But you never know. Okay, there we go. That's through. I just need one more row. Then I'm going to let this simmer because, to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to do next. So when in doubt, go to the other side, right? So I'm going to do that. I love that. Mary says her living room is a library. We have a library in our living room too. That's where all of our books are. My granddad we have the same bookcases that my granddad had in one of the houses that he built, and they've gone with me everywhere. So, and then Chris's den is also his library. Whoops. See, sometimes this is a catch with the big eye. What happens is, let me show you, that the big eye wants to split right there. If that happens, it's not the end of the world. You can still use it. I'll still string it like this, and I'll just hold those two ends together. And it's also probably because I am grabbing it with my plier and I'm not being very mindful about it, right? So I'm going to grab it here and pull it through. There we go. Just like that. Okay. And I am thinking that this is going to be the end of this thread. So I am going to try and just weave it. If I can get it through there, this thread is pretty thick. I'm going to go bead by bead. Pull that. Oh, I need to go this way, or I need to get a fresh needle, but I'm going to make this work. I'm going to go through bead by bead. Grab it on the body of the needle, not on the tip. That's really what happened here. Let me see if I can pull that through. That's good. Now I'm going to go through one more of these beads. I'm going to pop this bead up. There's room in there. The thread will compact. You don't want it to be so tight, though, that you're going to pop that bead. So you really need to be kind of careful. Again, this is regular Ceylon, so fine for this would even be a little bit easier. So see, I've got it through that one there, like this. I'm going to pull this through, again, pulling on the body of the needle. And there we go. That's fine. I am just going to come in. That thread's not going to go anywhere. It's turned a corner. It's tight in there. I'm not going to worry about it whatsoever. I'm going to come in. I'm going to thread burn this away. Turn this over. This up, push it down, and under tension. Okay, so this one is finished off. Okay, like this. So now let's do the other side. Okay, let's put the lid back on. Let's turn all this around. Turn it around here, Richburg. Turn it around. And let's go ahead and make this match. What I'm going to do here carefully, since this backfired on me on Wednesday, I'm going to carefully move my piece around. I don't have any leather on this one, so I need a little more space here, right? So I'm going to just push it. So I've opened up some space here, okay? And now, see, this is also sitting a little funny right there. So before I go any further, where did I put the awl down? Do you see it? It's not in frame. It's not there. Did it fall? Seriously? Well, it'll show up. I'll use this toothpick, I guess. I just wanted to kind of pull these warp threads a little bit so that they were a little neater on this side. Okay, there we go. That looks a little bit better, and it'll tighten up once I put in this row of the Picassos. Okay, now also I have been weaving with this side, and I was weaving, you know, on the other side, on towards me. This was towards me. But now that I've turned it around, my weaving thread is over to my right, and I can just start weaving this way. I don't have to always weave from the same side. So I'm just going to go ahead, dump a few of these out. We need 3 rows of these Picassos. But I could run this back and then go back to the left, but I'll just do this here. With these Picassos, these beads have a pretty big hole. So this needle, this zap needle will really work out. I'm going to bring this under. I'm not used to weaving from the right to the left, but it'll be okay. So see how I put those through underneath, and I'm going to kind of hold it tight with my fingers there. And then I'm going to slide that zap needle thread through. Okay, so that's 1 row. I'll do another 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, like that. And then let me put this banner up right there for a little bit for those of you who've joined late. It's a good time. Janice said we've just restocked a whole bunch of stuff. You know, back in the day, we used to have like 2 people on inventory. I don't know. Those were the good old days. But we appreciate you sticking with us. You know, small businesses, that's why they're called small, because we're small. But we're plucky. So, you know, doing our best. As Janice says, it's like the Wild West when we do this. So see, there we go. And look at how nicely that's evened this out. I really love this motif. If you know my buddy Lisa Kelly over at Beaducation, Lisa's kind of started back up offering some of her things. She had kind of closed up shop for a little bit, but she's also doing a lot of really cool metalsmithing content on her Instagram. And she's doing a cuff, setting a stone and stuff, and the cuff kind of has this shape. It just kind of reminds me of it. So you can hop over to the Beaducation Insta, and I'm sure that there's a link to Lisa's her metalsmithing and stone setting journey. She's sharing a lot of really cool tips over there. Some of the best metal stamps in the biz, for sure. I love it. Now, I know already that this piece of thread that I'm using, whoops, I didn't catch the warp thread. This piece of thread that I'm using here is not going to be long enough. So I need to decide where the heck am I going to add thread. I think the best place to add thread in this instance would be in this textile looming portion. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut another piece And let me get this right here. And I'm going to take, I don't know, maybe a yard, about maybe a little bit more. Because I want enough here. I don't want to have to add this again. So it's better to add more than less. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in. I'm going to bring these together. I'm going to tie an overhand knot so that these two are tied together. Okay. Like that. Now what I'm going to do here, it's nice and tight, nothing's moving. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to hide this knot. I'm going to get my let me get a little tighter in here. And I know in weaving, I do this in my regular weaving, I'll be honest. Sometimes you just have to tie a knot. I'm going to come in. I'm going to lose that lovely zap needle, but that's all right. I'm going to do some thread burning. I'm going to thread burn those away. And now I've got these little tiny tails right here. See that? So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to seal those ends by tapping. I need to be real careful here. But those cauterize those together. Now that knot isn't going to go anywhere. It's kind of not pretty, so I'm going to try and hide it. Okay, and I've also kind of screwed up my weaving here, but that's all right. Now, seriously, where did the awl go? I need to stand up. Oh, somehow it magically appeared. Here it is. Here it is. All right. So let me fix this weaving up. And we're just going to see where this knot lands. All right. We're just going to do a little bit of praying to the weaving goddess and see what happens here. Okay. Let's see where it goes. Oh, look at that. Right behind that warp thread. That's perfect. All right. We're just going to keep going. And what I would do if this were showing, and I'll do it on the back. It's going to be kind of hard for me to turn it over, but I'm just going to kind of compact these down. See, the knot's kind of right there. So I'll kind of weave over that too, and it'll kind of flatten out. You're not even going to see it. Okay. That'll work just fine. So see, I'm going to kind of push it up here. I'm going to go back, and it'll kind of encase inside. Nothing better than a knot. And I know people are like, oh my God, there's a knot. You know what? A knot is perfectly valid in my book, right? And since this is my book, this is my gig right now, I'm going to say, give yourself permission to tie a knot. It works. Let's go over, under. The knot is there. And so as I weave, let me weave just a few more. So it kind of, I think maybe I need 2 more passes. You're going to see that's just going to blend right in. And you'll never notice. And since I did the thread burn right on top of that overhand knot, those little ends of the 2 separate threads are cauterized together. So they are not going to, they're melted, right? So they're not going to come apart. This is polyester Ceylon, right? So it's not going to come apart, right? So here we go. And this and this and this. It's a good thing I didn't do this earlier, so you can see all these little tricks. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Not going to beat myself up. You know, kid, oh, I keep missing that side warp though. What's the matter with me? Try this. There's no sense beating yourself up for things, right? We're all just doing the best that we can. Right, everybody? So here, let's get that all in there, and it'll help you kind of drive that right where you want it. Let's do a little check. There's the knot right back there. I could even use a little dot of glue if I felt like it was going to be kind of out and about. So I'm going to do that too. I'm going to do a little drop, and then this will definitely be the back end. Where is the GS? It's a good thing my camera isn't too wide of an angle because you'd see what a mess this is. Well, I'm not going to worry about gluing it. Oh, here it is. See, as soon as I said I don't need it, here it comes. Right there. Add a little touch of glue right there. And that'll kind of hold it in. Okay? Like that. Hopefully this glue won't stain the front too much, but let me see if I can wick some of that off. That should be okay. Okay. There we go. All right, so now it's time. And see, I'm going to end up here. I'm going to end up on my right side. So it's where I'm used to weaving. So that is awesome. So now we need to do a row of 3. I'm going to use the other big eye needle that I have here. This is the flexible eye, right? Since it's sitting here. We'll see how this one goes for looming. I like the other big eye too, but this one's probably either the fine. No, sorry, it's definitely not the fine. It's either the medium or the heavy. I don't know. It was just lying here, so I have no clue what it is. But, oh, see, this goes over. So I'm just going to go around this to lock it in. So I can now put my threads underneath. There we go. Okay. These guys right there. And slide that through. You really want to kind of tilt. What I do is I kind of tilt the needle up at maybe like a 45-degree angle, sort of, so that, and this is also a little bit easier to get through than that larger big eye, since the needle's not quite as big. But you kind of tilt it so that it doesn't catch any of your threads. Okay. So we will do 3 rows of this. Push them up. I might like this collapsible eye or flexible eye. Which one is this? It's the beetle on one. All these years, I can't ever remember. I think it's flexible. I don't know. Janice will link it. But it's good to have a bunch of needles in your toolkit, because then everything you need will be right at your fingertips. Okay. Yeah, this one's good. This is a good one. So now let's just do some plain weave. I'm going to take the needle out. The thing I like about these guys is, let me get my needle box here. It should be right here, maybe. The thing I like about these is they have that little tip, that little twist at the top that holds your thread on, right? So that it's not always falling out. Your thread isn't always falling out of your needle. There we go. Yeah, these are the collapsible eye needles. Right here. That collapsible eye. The other ones, as opposed to these, are the flexible eye, which would also work, right? The other wire needles. But let's do some quick looming here, weaving, plain weave, over, under, over, under. And again, you don't want to pull this too tightly. I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking. Well, no, you don't, so I'm going to tell you. I may, for the closure on this, move down to 11/0 and do the weaving portion with KO. And I'm thinking that because the request on Wednesday was to do something, or maybe it was last Friday when we were doing all these, to do something that had the button and buttonhole in the beadwork, right? So, and 11/0, I think, will be a real easy way to do this. Emily did a really fun, it was a peyote project. I think it was called Ombre something, where she did a really nice button and buttonhole loop. It was really a nice one. Where those samples are, I could not tell you. But you can look it up under, I think it's under peyote stick bracelets, probably. It's a really nice one. There we go. Let's get that. Whoops, now I did drop my awl. Hang on. Let me get it. This is also where I need to stand up, I think. Hang on. Yeah, I've got this KO right there, so I think we're going to do that. Over, under, over. And see how I'm not using the end of the thread? I'm just kind of putting that through. It makes it go a little bit faster. Then I pull the whole thread through, and then I pull it up. Looks like I need 2 more passes here. Okay. like that. Oh, and there's the ombre. Thanks, JP, for connecting that project. It's a nice one. It's a really pretty bracelet series that Emily did. And she uses 11/aughts. And what made me think of it was the 11/aughts for this closure. I think if we do the weaving and stuff back through, I just think it'll make for an elegant closure. And plus, we're using the bigger beads, and we go down to the 6, then we go down to the 8. So it might make sense visually. We'll see. I mean, as soon as I jump in and start it, we will know. I'm going to lock that in. I keep saying I need to measure. Maybe I'll measure after this group of seed beads. But we're getting there. And like this. Oh, I need to go around. Okay. Miranda, can you also check, can you put the caliper in the, because we're having our caliper, digital caliper special. It should show markdown in the...
Oh, check the price?
Yeah, would you? Mm-hmm. It doesn't, it should show when you put it in the cart. It's regularly $18.95, but you should see it with the discounted price. So I checked it last night. Oh, is that ombre? Is the ombre a loom? Maybe that's why I was thinking of it. It's not peyote. I wasn't thinking. You are correct.
Is there supposed to be a code?
No, it's just marked down. It's on sale.
It's not.
Oh. It was yesterday. Did it fall out of sale? Hang on. Let me look on the back end. Hang on. I can do it real quick. Thanks for, I love this, as I say, customer service on the fly. Let's see, there it is. Hang on. Oh no, it's correct.
Is it?
Right? It's the
$18.95 is the sale price?
$18.95 is the sale price.
Oh, okay, then yes, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Um
Usually it shows with the X through it.
Yeah. I mistakenly put that on the homepage. Apologies, everybody. Let me change the sale price to what was on the homepage. Hang on one second. I'll do that through the broadcast, and then I will update it. Okay. Can you check it now, Miranda?
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. Okay. Yeah, I think everything that's marked down that you don't need a coupon with will be included with that coupon code.
Yes, it's working.
It's working. Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. You get a little extra bonus then for showing me that. Thank you for being my proofreaders. Oh, I don't know why this didn't. Well, I'll just go around here. Pretend you didn't see me make this mistake, okay? Just pretend you didn't. I'm just pulling that through. It won't be noticed. Okay, so here's my last of the 3. Yeah, we got a special buy on the calipers, which is why they're on sale. We're not discontinuing them. They are staying with us. But we got a special deal from our vendor, so we thought we'd pass it on to you. That's like over $10 off. So if you need an extra one, now's the time to pick it up before they sell out. I really like these calipers a lot. So see here again, use that awl to pull everything through if you need a little help. Just like so. I don't know why my hands aren't. I don't want to weave right now. Let's see. Let's get that in then. Under. There we go. I like this contrast in colors like this. Oh, and thanks, JP. I'll put this on right now. So you can see that. Yeah, the ombre. And you can see if you click over to that ombre project, you'll see how Emily did kind of a curved loop to go around the button. I am going to do a buttonhole in line with the weaving. Danielle's done this before in some of her projects. And I think it looks really terrific. Okay, one more pass after this. Okay. Maybe 2 more, I think. If you have just some random A-dots left over from a mix, that's a great way to get rid of them with this weaving. As you know, I literally just picked these up off of the dregs of what were sitting on my work table here. And we're going to give this a measure. Because I think we're getting close. All right. Because we would have one more beaded section right there. But let me just see where we are. Let me pull this out. Okay. 5 inches, good. So I'm going to finish off that last section of beads, which will bring me to about 5.5 inches. Then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to audition some 11/0, okay, after this. And when we do an inline button, a button meaning a button that goes right inside the cup, it's right inside the weaving. I think I'm going to do, this looks a little, I'm going to do one more section while I tell you this. We're going to attach the button first, because in order for the button to, bless you, to fit the buttonhole, we need to know what size that button's going to be, right? Does that make sense? So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. There we go. That's a little bit better, a little bit wider. All right, now 3 rows, and then we're going to go to 3 rows of this, then we'll go to 11/0. And I'm going to go with just what's sitting here. So we'll see. We'll see what 11/0 I've got laying around. Again, I have to, no, that's right. It goes underneath. It's going the right way. Also, everybody, mark your calendars a week from today. That's when the new box, Danielle's new next mystery box, is coming. Neelay will have his up, and we have a mystery project for you as well. So it's going to be so good. I cannot wait. So you're going to have to hold your anticipation. Pre-sale starts on Friday, August 7th. And I believe pre-sale also starts that day on Neelay's site, and it will also start that day for our mystery project as well. I think you're going to love it. I love it. I have seen the box. I have Neelay's project, or his box here. They're really awesome. Awesome, awesome. I think you're going to love them. I'm excited. There we go. And here's this. So here's 3. And then we just wove these off, right? So I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm definitely having an easier time with this needle. It's collapsible eye. See if I can get it back through. I know it wants to go. There it is. And I'm just going to cut it off right here. There's plenty of thread in there for it not to come out. Maybe I'll go just one more, just for fun. I don't want to go out the last one. I just want to go out that bead right there. There we go. Okay, good. Nice and tight. We'll thread burn that. And now for 11/0. How am I doing? Okay. I think what we will do, well, let me see. We've got a little bit of time. We're still doing all right. So here is our full and complete piece that we've done just with, I'm going to screenshot that sucker. Did it screenshot? Yeah. With all Ceylon. Okay. So I'm going to introduce another, the other thread. I'm going to introduce the KO. This is a full 5.5 inches. Okay. So my wrist is 6.5, about a little less, maybe 6.25. But I want this to fit, I want it to have some room. So I'll make it probably around 7, maybe. Though I'll check it as we go a little closer. The KO that I want, I have that gold, but I was using the apricot for the other woven bracelet, this one. And it's really similar to this color. So let me grab it. Is that Mr. Pickles?
Yeah.
Alfred T. Alfred T came out to grace us with his presence. His little shaved belly's growing back slowly but surely. He says, Mama, you're not going to put me on camera and make me embarrassed like I did the other day. Okay. So let me move this out of the way. Let's see. 11, 12, 33. Hang on. Let me see what I want. Bear with me here just 1 second while I figure out which seed beads I want. What do I have sitting here? You could keep going with the 8s, but I want to see what 11s look like. 11. Oh, galvanized Duracoat matte champagne. Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I want right there. Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to pull this around, and on the thread, it's really easy to move stuff. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just get myself some of these. So this is something we also want to think about. When I am doing an inline button, we have an odd count of threads here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. which is great for the buttonhole, but the button is going to have to sit slightly off center, okay, when I weave it through. It's not really the end of the world, okay? And let me show you on the back. What I'm going to do is, as I'm weaving, I'm going to pass my warp threads through the shank of the button, and that's just going to take the place of one of the beads, okay? So bead here, shank here, bead here. And I bet that's at least a width of 2 beads, maybe 3. Okay. So if I were planning this, I would warp my threads so I'd have one more. So I'd have 5 beads, right? So I could have 3 strands there, 3 strands there, and this would land in the middle. Okay. So, but since this is, it is what it is, we're just going to adapt it to make it work. Okay. So let me jump in with KO. We need to weave the KO in first. I'm going to use about a yard because I don't want to have to add thread here. And I'm going to use just a size 10 beading needle or a sharps needle, whatever you have. I have a sharps sitting here, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm trying to thread it here. This apricot thread is the same color as my finger. Hang on. I'm out of frame trying to see it. There we go. Nope. Needle that thread. Channel Emily Miller, everybody. Sometimes I can just get that thread right on through, and sometimes I have to struggle. So I want to come out this way. So I want to go through here, back here, and under and through. Okay. So I'm going to do this. This one, it's kind of tight. Let's see. Can I get it through this one at least? Can I go through here? Yeah. Now, I do not, this is playing with fire a little bit. I do not want to pop any of these beads. So I'm going to go into this side of the beads. That's where I wove off the seal-on. So I'm going on this side, which is the side that doesn't have that extra seal-on row. Size 10, you could also use a size 12 beading needle. Might be a little bit easier to get through. But now I'll come down here. We'll go all the way through like that and like this. There we go. Pull that tight. That's not going anywhere. There's a piece of thread here I don't like, but there's not much I can do about it right now. So we're just going to let it be. Let's see if I can. Didn't I say I was just going to let it be? All right. Stop screwing with it. Okay. And I'm just going to clip this extra little piece off right there. That one. Okay. So here's the moment of truth. Let's see what these 11/aughts look like. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's going to be a skinny little closure, but I think that's kind of what I want. I don't know. I don't really know yet. but we'll see. 1, 2. And the seal-on for the warp threads, it's also giving it a little bit of heft. So it still has some weight to it, right? Push these up. And plus, you'll really be able to see the blue through here, which I like. And this champagne color harkens back to that one. 2, 3, and 4. I think I've got 4 on there. Let's put in, I don't know, 1/2 inch. What did I say? This was 5.5 inches. 6, 7. So I've got about 1.5 inches that I have to add, right? 5.5, 6.5, 7 inches. Divided by 2 is 3/4 inch. So I guess this needs to be each end, at least where the button and the loop go, need to be about 3/4. I don't know. We're going to have to kind of do this by feel, right? But once I do one, you'll have a better idea. Look at how nice. Let me get a little tighter in here. Look at how nice the thread. Can you see that? It's not as clear as I want it to be. That's a little bit better, I think. I really like the way that you can see the seal-on in here. And again, I'm liking this taper, this line. Now, I need, before I start the button, I'm going to have to equalize on the other side, right? Because we need to balance this, and it'll just make it easier for me to measure. So I put in 2, 4, 5. I'm going to put in 5 rows here and stop. Let's flip it around, and let's add 5 rows to that side, shall we? Turn it around. Let's roll that one up. And we're going to add the 5 rows here. And then we're going to measure. Okay? And that will probably bring us to the end of this broadcast. On Wednesday, I'm going to show you what I'm making with the monthly mix. A week from today, we've got the new project box launch. So the Wednesday after that, I'll tell you what date it is. We're going to pick this back up. We're going to pick it up on the 12th. Okay? That'll give you some time to work on yours. And I don't want to rush this. Why is it that always these loom projects are always so epic, right? So what I did here, to add the thread, remember, we came in here on this side, walked that KO through, left a little bit of a tail, walked this KO through, trying not to nick any of the thread, holding onto that tail so it doesn't pull through. And now all the way through here. And what did I say? 5 rows, I think. Someone's asking about a project with the D-stash mixes. I don't know. The D-stash mixes I think would be great to weave with. You could also do some freeform peyote. To be honest, I sent out every D-stash mix that we had. I did not keep one. So I don't really think I probably should have kept one, but then someone wouldn't have gotten theirs. So what I would do with the D-stash mixes, and this was what I did with the monthly mix, and I'm going to talk about it on Wednesday. I had to sort the monthly mix. I had to sort it because I had no idea what I was doing. So I had to sort it. So the D-stash mixes that you got, I would say start by sorting. That will give you some time to commune with it. And then you can decide what sort of, at least start, you want to working with them. Okay, here's 3, 2 more rows. And then we'll give a final measurement. I'll put this, since these are all the beads and everything is complete, what I will do so you can mark your calendars, I will put this up as a project. Someone toss out a name if you think of one. If we don't think of one, I'll name it. And then I will carry it. I'll schedule. I need to schedule all the lives anyway. So I'll schedule everything, including next week's broadcast with the monthly mix, the mystery box, and then this one the following Wednesday. So you can mark your calendars. And it's nice to get some work done ahead of time too. That way. So I'll list all of those for you. Okay, dokie. One more row. Yeah, this galvanized champagne is nice. We must have used it in something recently. I don't know what. But I like it. Coastal Fiesta. I like that. I like the coastal vibe. I like the Fiesta vibe. I don't think we have anything named Coastal Fiesta. All right. Shall we measure? Let me cut this off. Cut it under tension. Pull this down. Okay. And I'm leaving these threads. Okay. Oh, Jalisco Rose. I also like that too. I don't know. I might have to put all of these in a bag and pull them out. All right. Here we go. Let me get the good old tape measure. Yeah, we're at 6.5. So I think I am about ready, maybe one more row. And we'll start, we'll put the button on. We'll put the button on this side first. And then we'll come around and we'll do the hole for the buttonhole. Because then we're also, after we cut it off, we're going to have to figure out how we are going to weave in the ends, right? This is hefty threads. So I think typically if these warp threads were KO, it'd be pretty easy to weave them back through. But I think since these are heavier, I might go with tassels on the end. And it goes with that fiesta kind of feel to it. Right? Okay. So when we come back, I will put this button through. We're going to weave, and we'll weave to probably about right there. And then we'll do the buttonhole. Okay. So that's where we're stopping. But again, I'll put all of this up so you can see it. Good time to do a screenshot right here. I'm going to do one as well for this. Let me get all of this out of the way. I think that's screenshotted. All right. There we have it. I think we made good progress today. I'm pretty pleased with it. And it'll be a nice one. You know, if we're really going to stack, let's just stack. We still have this one over here to deal with. And I think I know what's going to happen with this one. We'll revisit this one later too. I think I'm going to do some kind of knotting on this. So this part is woven. I'll stop it here. Put some kind of a stopper bead, maybe there and there, and maybe do a 4-braid knot right there. But that'll be fun. That'll be kind of like the series, the series of 3 that we did this. Okay, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let me put up this sale that we've got, Hot 22. It's going to be in the newsletter tomorrow, but we thought we'd give you viewers a little leg up on it today. Save 22% store-wide. It's through Sunday night at midnight or 11:59 Pacific time. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Tomorrow, because today's the 31st, tomorrow the monthly mix comes. And I will show you. I'm not going to show you a sneak peek. It'll be in the newsletter tomorrow. I don't want to take away from this. I'll give you a sneak peek of the project I'm doing with it. Full disclosure, it's going to be a wrap bracelet. It is a wrap bracelet. It's pretty cool. I took some of the things that we learned with Janice's wrap bracelet Michelle and incorporated it into this one. I will also tell you that the monthly mix that Miranda designed, it is drops. And it's gorgeous. It's really cool. So you'll read all about it tomorrow. You'll read about the artist that we're honoring. We'll read a little bit about why Miranda chose it. And you'll see a sneak peek of the project for next Wednesday. That's all I got. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. I love this. Nancy said she is ready to warp the bead box. I'm excited. I love it. And I'm really stoked that you guys are enjoying these. This is good. And Caroline, they are, just grab the mix and put it in your stash because they do sell out. We have a few that we made a whole bunch of that we still have from earlier in the year, but we have a limited amount. So grab it, put it in your cart, put it in your stash, and when you're ready to create, you'll be ready to create. All right. Fantastic weekend, all. Have a safe, happy weekend. Try and stay cool. I know for most of us across the U.S., it's going to be a warm one. We're going to hit about 105 here in Fresno. So gotta stay hydrated. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Talk to you soon.